Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you today's Division I Varsity High School Boys Hockey Contest between the visiting Rockets of Needham High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. As you can see, the Zamboni just finishing up its rounds, so we should soon see some players coming out onto the ice. A very special game for Brookline. This, their last home game of the season. So for this senior class of 2023, it's going to be the last time they suit up as Warriors here at Walter Brown Arena. So very special game with a certain degree of finality to it. And it should make for one heck of a game. The Warriors coming into this contest ranked 44th in the MIAA Power Rankings in Division I with a 6-13 record, so a playoff berth all but out of reach at this point in the season. Needham trying to hold on to a playoff spot, currently ranked 29th with an 8-7-2 record. They're hoping to finish strong and further cement their spot in the MIAA Division I tournament. And you can see the Warriors getting ready to come out onto the ice. Some of them for the final pre-game skates of their high school careers here at Walter Brown. Again, the last home game of the season for this Warriors team. And of course, for me, that means this will be the last live stream of Brookline boys hockey that I do for this season. It's continued to be a great privilege of mine to get to cover these games. And I'm going to enjoy this last one for all that it's worth, and I hope you will too. Just getting the last of the stuff off before the Zamboni takes off, and then we'll have players coming out onto the ice. Remember, as always, if you enjoy this live stream, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. There's still a couple of Brookline home games left here at Walter Brown for the girls hockey team coming up this weekend. They got a game on Saturday and Sunday, the rare Sunday game. Both of them at home. I will be covering them both, so be sure to stay tuned. Subscribing can help. And if you got anything to say, I encourage you to say it in the live chat. We got a couple of notes already from the official BHS Hockey YouTube account. Thanks for all you do. Myself and staff and my boys appreciate everything you do for BHS. Needham is a good team, well coached by Mike Hoban, so it will be a good game. My boys are ready. This coming from Brookline head coach AJ Sarno. Unfortunately unable to make the trip to Walter Brown today, but still here in spirit cheering on his boys. And from Marlene Lyons, go Warriors, have fun. Your last game this year, last home game, of course, just to clarify. Go Dylan Katz from Michigan. And here come the Warriors. Out onto the ice for their last pregame skate at Walter Brown for the 2022-23 season. The Rockets coming out right behind them. A Rockets squad fighting to stay in the playoff hunt. If the season ended right now, they would finish as the 29th seed in the MIAA tournament. But the season's not over. They have to finish strong if they're going to stay there. Brookline with a chance to play spoiler, perhaps, for this Needham team. And now that both teams are out on the ice, let's take a look at the rosters coming into today. We'll start over on my right with the visitors, the Needham High Rockets. Going in order of jersey number, first off we have a junior, number 1, Dylan Michelou. A senior, number 2, George Darwin. A junior captain, number 3, Jimmy Kenny. A junior, number 4, Jack Curran. A junior, number 5, Kieran Deneen. A sophomore, number 6, Sean Concanon. A junior, number 7, Liam Davison. A sophomore, number 8, Matt Rudder. A junior alternate captain, number 9, Sean Riley. A sophomore, number 10, Will Rosenberg. A sophomore, number 11, Sam Treacy. A sophomore, number 12, Alex Duan. A sophomore, number 13, Will O'Donnell. A sophomore, number 14, Will Saratella. A sophomore, number 15, Tommy Peabody. A sophomore, number 16, Niall O'Malley. A sophomore, number 17, Joe Kajunski. A junior, number 19, Elliot Sprott. A sophomore, number 20, Nick Sewall. A junior, number 21, Spencer Clark. A junior alternate captain, number 23, Jake Sitzkowski. A junior, number 24, Alexander Joncola. A sophomore, number 26, Justin Mayra. A senior, number 30, Braden Pavlik. And a junior, number 91, Jack O'Brien. Head coach of the Needham High boys hockey team is Mike Hoban, with assistant coaches Greg Hampton, Casey Cronin, and Jack Piersiak. So that's the roster for Needham. If there are any Needham fans tuning into this live stream and you notice me absolutely butchering the pronunciation of someone's name, please correct me in the live chat. I want to get things right. But now as we move over to our left, for the last time on this channel for the 2022-23 season, here is the roster for the Brookline High Warriors. In order of jersey number, first off, a freshman, number 2, Jack Herman. A senior alternate captain, number 3, Marcus Pace. A junior captain, number 4, Noah Gurdon. A senior captain, number 5, Steve McDougall. A freshman, number 6, Greg Aptekman. A sophomore, number 7, Connor Erdman. A junior, number 8, Tommy May. A sophomore, number 9, Max Guo. A sophomore, number 10, Jace Gongadarin. A junior, number 11, Seth Walpowitz. A junior alternate captain, number 12, Henry Ames. A sophomore, number 13, Grady Ames. A senior, number 16, Jason O'Brien. A senior captain, number 17, Emmett Tien. A sophomore, number 18, Thomas O'Brien. A sophomore, number 19, Ryan Wilson. A freshman, number 21, Owen Lacey. A senior, number 22, Matthew Murphy. A sophomore, number 23, Dylan Katz. A senior, number 27, James Redding. A sophomore, number 30, Jack O'Connor. And a freshman, number 31, Craig Haas. Head coach of the Brookline High boys hockey team is Anthony Sarno, with assistant coaches Steven Sarno, Mike O'Neill, and Anthony Sarno Jr. There's the roster for Brookline. It's Brookline against Needham. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Walter Brown, and you are watching Brookline High Hockey. Insert, knocked back out, McDougall recovers, McDougall scores! Punch towards out, Tien sends a shot in, save, and it's put back by Gurdon!
it. Block recovered by Erdman. Shot. Juicy rebound. Henry Ames! Ace skating with it. Weaves around the defenders. Tries a shot. Walled off by Doucette. Putback is walled off. McDougall recovers. And Sheehan has the hat trick! The hats go flying here at Walter Brown.
PA announcer is now taken over, and we are just awaiting the introduction of starting lineups and the national anthem before our opening puck drop. First starter, number 14, Will Saratella. Number 8, Matt Rutter. Number 15, Tommy Peabody. Number 16, Neal O'Malley. And captain, number 3, Jimmy Kenny. Starting in net for Needham, number 30, Braden Pavlik. First starter for Brookline, number 5, Stephen McDougall. Number 17, Emmett Tien. Number 22, Matthew Murphy. Number 3, Marcus Pace. And number 27, James Redding. And starting in net, number 31, Craig Haas. That was our national anthem, and now we get ready for the opening puck drop. Brookline starting an all-senior lineup amongst their skaters. Of course, the freshman Craig Haas manning the spot between the pipes. But for Brookline, Steve McDougall and Emmett Tien and James Redding, typical starters for Brookline. Marcus Pace, I believe, is playing on the wing, but he might have switched to defense as they've moved number 22, Matthew Murphy, into a starting spot here amongst his fellow seniors. Of course, again, for these seniors, their last game at Walter Brown. Got another kind shout out in the live chat from Lauren Hirsch. Go Dylan Katz, sending love from Chicago. Go Brookline. And folks, if you're tuning into this live stream, don't hesitate to send your love to your favorite players in the live chat. Especially, again, for this senior class of 2023 playing their last game as Brookline Warriors here at Walter Brown Arena. Of course, they have some road games to wrap up the season, but this, their last home game. 15 minutes on the clock, and here we go. Face-off controlled by Brookline. James Redding pushes it deep into the Needham end as it goes around the boards. Chased down by number 16, Niall O'Malley. Attempted clear, walled off, but then kicked forward by number 15, Tommy Peabody. They move it into the Brookline end, but it's taken back by Emmett Tien. Pass goes wide, taken back by Jimmy Kenny. Now up against the boards, taken back by Tien. Tien's got some room. He's skating now. Pass up to McDougall, gets away from him, and he has to chase it down, but it goes around the corner, and O'Malley attempts another clear. Walled off by Murphy, but not completely, and that will be offsides. And so Brookline makes a full change here, and we see another senior getting some early playing time here. Number 16, Jason O'Brien on that back line alongside Noah Gurdon. Good to see the seniors getting some extra time out on the ice here in their last home game of the season. Out of the scrum, they're still scrumming for it. Gets pushed into the Needham end where Kenny takes it and sends it off the boards, but this might be icing, and it will be. From Steve Sheridan, hello Jesse, shouting out the Ames brothers from Tampa. And the Ames brothers both out on the ice here with the second forward line. Grady, number 13, Henry, number 12. Needham trying to clear it out of their zone, and they do. Number 9, Sean Riley sends it off the boards, and that's going to be icing again. So Needham with a couple of early icing calls. But one thing you see with these games is if you don't take advantage of teams continuously icing and giving you a chance at the puck in their own end, they're just going to keep going for those long moves until eventually something bounces their way. So you can't keep letting them get away with it as Brookline controls it through the neutral zone. O'Brien, a long pass across to Grady Ames. Ames making an approach, gets the feet taken out from under him, tries to tap it along. It goes off the side of the net and is recovered by the Rockets. Knocked away, but a whiff. And now it is taken by Riley. Riley's knocked away from him, recovered along the far side board, sent down to the corner for number 4, Jack Curran. Now back out, it's scrumming along the boards into open ice, taken back by the Rockets. Attempted backhand pass. The target was too tangled up. The pass was intended for number 17, Joe Kaczynski. Now Kaczynski again with the puck, passes it up for Riley. Riley weaving around, long shot, save, but a juicy rebound could not be connected on, and it is cleared out. Now it's taken by Kenny. Kenny pass across, long shot, save by Haas. Now it's tapped back to the back line and approach, another long shot. This one deflects high off the stick of Niall O'Malley on those two long shots. Now stolen around the back once again, but taken back by Brookline. Another attempted clear along the boards, and it does get out to the neutral zone and all the way back to the Needham end where it's taken by Kenny. Kenny, long pass, finds a target. This is number 24, Alexander Giancola. Giancola's pass to the slot just broken up. It's Brookline trying to clear again, but Kenny takes it, launches it well wide of the net. Around the boards it goes, taken by O'Malley. O'Malley, long shot, redirected wide. And off the boards, taken by Jace Gongadar and sent out to the neutral zone. Kenny, his attempted hit deflects off a stick, sails into the stands, and just barely missed a fan's head. You got to be careful sometimes when you're walking along the stands. Got to make sure to keep your eyes on the ice. But fortunately, everyone's okay. Off the face-off, controlled by Needham, launched into the Brookline end. Off the boards, it is taken by Redding. Redding sends it off the boards. It's down by Needham, but then a hard check leaves it in open ice to be taken by the Warriors. That's Marcus Pace pushing it down to the Needham end. It's pushed aside by Braden Pavlik. In the corner, they're scrumming for it. Now it's sent around the back by Tien. Chasing after it, a couple of players, and now it is taken by Needham's number 23, Jake Sitzkowski. Sitzkowski takes it in the corner, sends it back around for Rudder. Shot blocked wide. Off the boards, taken by Pace, lifted high for Tien. Tien controls the puck, approaches, whiffed on the shot, and it's covered up by Pavlik. Oh, you can tell Tien wants that one back. A breakaway chance for Emmett Tien, but the puck just took a weird bounce on him on the ice, and he whiffed on the last deke there and couldn't get a proper stick on it, and Pavlik covers it up. Face-off controlled by Brookline. Dylan Katz sends it around the corner. Henry Ames trying to stay with it. Backhand pass goes off the boards, chased down by Thomas O'Brien. Slap shot is deflected just wide of the net. Chasing it down around the back is Henry Ames. Try to pass, blocked. And it's squirted out, taken for a second by Guo. Couldn't get a clean shot off. And now out of the scrum, it's pushed again by Guo. Now controlled by number 21, Spencer Clark. Clark skating with it, sends it off the boards. Katz pushes it back forward. Now it's taken by number 19, Elliot Sprott. Sprott's pass broken up but recovered. Now sent off the boards a little far, and it's chased down by Katz. Katz, some nice maneuvers around the forecheck, pass up, deflects into the neutral zone, taken by Grady Ames. Ames gets cut off, and now it is taken by Needham, but Connor Erdman with a nice forecheck to take it back. Whiffs on a pass, and it's pinned up against the boards. Now squirts out into open ice, where it's taken by Kenny. Kenny skating with it, gains the blue line, cannot get around Noah Gurdon, and a hard collision around the corner. Noah Gurdon refuses to back down. Erdman pokes it around the boards. It's sent back, but it's taken around the back, stolen away by Redding. Redding now skating with it in transition, gains the blue, long shot goes wide. Around the boards it goes. Gurdon takes it in the neutral zone and launches it back into the Needham end. Chased down by number 26, Justin Mayra. Pass up to number 20, Nick Sewell. And now a couple quick passes, and it's broken up and covered up by Craig Haas. 9:28 on the clock here in the first period. No score as of yet. Brookline end face-off. And it's controlled by the Warriors. O'Brien sends it around the boards, a bit out of reach of Pace. And Kenny keeps it in the attack end, but McDougall pushes it up, being chased after by Mayra. Mayra trying to fend off the forecheck from Pace. Pace keeping up the pressure, gets it through to the slot, but it's lifted out, I believe, by Kenny. Race for the puck. O'Brien trying to get there first, just barely breaks it up as he slides into the net. Just barely stopped Alexander Giancola, who is coming up behind him fast. The sophomore defenseman did not have the advantage in speed on that one, but he had a slight advantage in positioning, and he took advantage as best he could to prevent a chance at the net there. Face off, controlled by Brookline. Redding whiffs on that hit, kicks it back, but it's knocked the other way. Now into the corner it goes. They're still scrumming for it, and it's ultimately sent around the back, taken by Gurdon. Gurdon sends it back around the other way, and it's controlled by Henry Ames. Poke check, knocks it loose, but Ames recovers. Ames turns around, sends it off the boards, and it's knocked down in the neutral zone. Almost knocked loose and sent back to the Needham end ultimately, where it's controlled by number 23, Sitzkowski. Sitzkowski sends it into the Brookline end, where it's taken by Redding. Redding leaves it for Grady Ames. Grady Ames skating with it. Tap is intercepted and sent around the boards by number 7, Liam Davison. Scrum up against the boards. Redding wins the puck, sends it around. Stopped by Sitzkowski. Now up to number 15. Shot blocked by Grady Ames. Sent back to the corner again. Number 15, Tommy Peabody, was trying to wrestle that one loose, but couldn't. Now a pass through to the slot, just barely broken up. That would have been a golden chance, but good breakup defensively by Grady Ames. The puck is launched into the Needham end, chased down by Sitskowski. Pass up to Rudder, taps it along. Skating with it now is number 14, Will Saratella. Now around the back, they're scrumming for it. Needham takes control, pass through to the slot, shot, saved by Haas. Rebound is deflected back, taken by Kenny. Pass over, Peabody shot, saved by Haas. Peabody now sends it around the boards. Jason O'Brien chases that down, pass off the mark, taken back by Peabody, shot, sails high. Now sent back to Kenny, long slap shot turned aside by Haas. Kept in the attack end, but now taken back by Jace Gongadarin. Pass misses. The mark was aimed at Owen Lacey. Sent off the boards by O'Malley, taken by Rudder. Pass goes up, broken up by Tien. A couple ricochets taken back by Rudder, sent into the neutral zone, taken by Gurdon. Gurdon lifts it up, misses Tien, and it's going to be chased down by O'Malley, sent across to Kenny. Kenny sends it up to Rudder. Rudder tries to touch it along, but it's taken away by McDougall, sent back to the Needham end where it's taken by Kenny. Kenny turns around, sends it off the boards, taken now by number 13, Will O'Donnell. O'Donnell skating with it, pinned to the boards. Brookline keeps it in the Needham end. Into the corner it goes. Kenny gets there first, pinned to the boards. It's knocked out. Weird ricochets back and forth. And Kenny ultimately comes away with it. Knocked away from him, but taken by O'Donnell. O'Donnell lifts it, goes off the face of Redding and out behind the net. Fighting for it, McDougall takes it, sends it up, taken back. Shot turned aside by McDougall. That shot coming from number 11, Sam Treacy. Scrumming for the puck, coming around the back. Couldn't get a clean backhander on it. It's deflected out of the slot. Pass from Pace goes off the boards, taken by Tien. Tien sends it up, misses McDougall. And they're keeping up the forecheck, though. Tien almost stole that one back, but couldn't quite. Treacy couldn't clear it out as Pace keeps it on the attack end, sends it to the corner. Tien corrals it. Tien pinned up against the boards, trying to fight his way out. Gets out, turns around, shot, saved by Pavlik. Good forward pressure by Brookline's first line, but they cannot get one past Braden Pavlik. 5:24 on the clock here in the first. Face-off is corralled ultimately by Needham and lifted out to the neutral zone. Chased down by Katz. Katz sends it off the boards, collected by Guo. Taps it up for Grady Ames. Ames pushes it further. Now sends it around the back for Henry Ames, but couldn't collect it cleanly. It's taken back, I believe, by O'Malley. Lifted past, intercepted by Guo. Guo passes to the back to Henry Ames, coming around the back. Surveying his options, pass to the back line, intercepted, taken away by Sewall. Now broken up, stolen by Seth Walpowitz. Pass deflected, taken by Grady Ames. Lifted into the Needham end. A race to the back end. O'Malley gets there first, sends it around, can't clear. Taken by Erdman, long shot out of the glove, but off of the net. Turned aside by Pavlik. Now pushed into the neutral zone. It's a race to the puck. Noah Gurdon going to get there first. Gurdon lost his footing. And Redding chased it down. Attempted clear, walled off by Kenny. Pass across to O'Malley. O'Malley trying to recover it. He has to send it around the boards as he gets checked by Murphy. Taken now by Redding. Off the boards. A hard check by Kenny, but Brookline stays with it. Gets it out to the neutral zone. And we've got a stoppage. Is this our first penalty? This is, and it's going to go against Needham's number 3, Jimmy Kenny. I think they're going to call him for that check on Jace Gongadarin. And that's going to be, I believe, a 2-minute minor. And indeed, Kenny will serve 2 minutes. Brookline with the first power play of the day. Face-off knocked back to Tien, tapped over for Gurdon and back to Tien. Tien tries to push it forward, deflected. Gurdon trying to keep it on the attack. And it is cleared out. Good work by Jack Curran at the point of attack for the defense. Now they're wrestling for it in the corner. Some players lose their footing. And we've got another stoppage. Are you kidding? 2 players got their helmets tangled up. Steve McDougall and Will O'Donnell are stuck together. I have never seen anything like that before. That is one of the silliest things I've ever seen in a hockey game. Excuse me. So after the dead puck, it'll be a face-off in Brookline's end. 3:51 on the period clock, 1:41 on the penalty clock. After one of the strangest things you're going to see out on the ice. Face-off controlled by Brookline. It's taken by Tien, tapped across for Gurdon. Gurdon, pass across to McDougall. Pass goes up to Grady Ames. Gains the blue line. Looking. Surveying, sends it back to Gurdon. Gurdon skating at the point. Back over to Ames on the right side. Ames turns around, shot, walled down, and cleared out by Jake Sitzkowski. Stopped by Haas and left for Gurdon as Brookline makes a power play line change. Gurdon pass up for Henry Ames. Ames pass across to Marcus Pace, and they didn't time their cross well enough, and that'll be an offsides call. .59 seconds still on the penalty against Kenny. Face-off controlled by Needham. Sitzkowski sends it off the boards. Taken by Katz. Passed across for Redding. Redding back to Katz. Katz lost control of the puck, and it's poked loose. This is Kajunski approaching shot, saved by Haas. Almost a disastrous turnover for Brookline in their own end. Brookline's had some struggles controlling the puck at a couple different instances so far. The ice just doesn't seem to agree with them here in the first period. Face-off, controlled by Needham. This is Kajunski, shot, glove, saved by Haas. We'll have another face-off in the Brookline end. 36 seconds still left on the power play. Face-off won by Brookline, taken by Gurdon. Gurdon skating with it, he's got some room. Gonna gain the blue line himself, get pinned to the boards, but still stay with the puck. Now turn around and reset the play. He sends it back to Grady Ames at the point. Now across to Tien. Tien skating with it. Long pass across, finds Gurdon. Gurdon shot, saved by Pavlik. Rebound being scrummed for, and it's taken by McDougall. McDougall coming around the back, trying to jam it in, covered up by Pavlik. So we'll now have a face-off in the Needham end, just 7 seconds left on the penalty. Brookline got a couple shots on net during that sequence, but Pavlik stopped them both. Face-off gets tangled up, and this will end the penalty, and out comes Kenny. As pushing it forward is O'Malley, down to the Brookline end where it's taken by Tien, sent around the boards. Pinned up against the boards, and it's taken now by McDougall. McDougall sends it off the boards and into the neutral zone where it's taken by O'Malley. Pass intercepted by Tien. Tien, Deeks gets around his defender, approaches, shot, saved by Pavlik. Emmett Tien with another great chance, but Braden Pavlik spreads out and stops it. I mean, Tien played that one almost as perfectly as you possibly could. Great offensive approach, just a better save. Face-off controlled for a second by Brookline, but now overwhelmed and taken away by Needham. Pushed down to the Brookline end by Davison. Taken back, pass misses off the boards. It's kept by the Rockets, but that pass gets away from him and is taken by Katz. Katz sends it up the line, taken back by the Rockets. Around the boards it goes. Taken now by number 10, Will Rosenberg. Pass gets away, and it's taken back. This is Erdman. Connor Erdman skating with it. Gains the blue line, but it's poked away and cleared out to the neutral zone. Walpowitz now skating with it. Lost his footing, but backhands it into the Needham end where it's taken by Sitskowski. Sitskowski breaks the blue line. Coming around, lost the puck. And it's knocked away from him, but recovered and kept with Needham. 1 minute left in the period as it's pinned up against the boards. Still scrumming for it now. Goes out in the crease, and Haas just dives on it. .4 seconds left here in the first. Both teams still looking for their first goal. Face off, tangled up, controlled by Redding. Attempted clear is kept in the attack end by Kenny. Around the corner it goes. Grady Ames sends it further around. Knocked back and forth, sent back. O'Malley long shot is deflected wide. Taken now by Gurdon. Gurdon coming out of behind the net, lifts a pass up. Chance, Max Guo gains the blue, weaving around, pass broken up by number 4, Jack Curran. Now another long pass goes off the boards. It's chased down again by Gurdon. Pass goes across to Redding. Redding pass up the middle, misses, taken away. Skating with it was O'Donnell. Now a push from Curran, misses wide. Now off the boards, it's going to go. And that'll bring us down to all zeros on the clock. At the first intermission, we have no score between Brookline and Needham here at Walter Brown Arena. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and during this first intermission, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Community Foundation. For over 100 years, the Brookline Community Foundation has been a trusted partner, supporting Brookline by investing in organizations and initiatives that help create opportunity and promote equity for everyone who lives, learns, works, and plays in our community. Among the foundation's many grant programs is the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School, which provides graduating BHS students with scholarships to help fund post-secondary education. To date, 81 BHS students have received scholarships from this fund to help them as they build their futures. Your support is crucial to supporting Brookline youth as they embark on the next steps in their educational journeys. Visit brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442 to learn more about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. Once again, brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442. And remember, as always, you can see all the information you need about our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation, down in the description section of this video down below. And if you know of any local charities that you think deserve a shout out during these live streams, perhaps for the upcoming spring season, feel free to let me know. You can see my email address down in the bottom right corner of your screen. You can contact me directly if you have any thoughts on the matter. But for now, first intermission, Brookline 0, Needham 0. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Walter Brown Arena. I'll take a break off the mic, but I'll be back for the second period. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts, bringing you coverage of today's Division I varsity high school boys hockey contest between the hosting Brookline High Warriors and the visiting Needham High Rockets. No score as of yet, as we get ready for the start of the second period. The officials coming out onto the ice with the Warriors right behind them. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of adjustments these two teams made. You know, I feel like Needham won the possession game in that first period and definitely generated some more consistent pressure. But Brookline had these bursts, which honestly gave them probably the best scoring chances between the two teams. So Brookline has had, so while Needham has had the most looks at the net, Brookline has had the most open looks at the net. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of adjustments might be made. You know, if Needham tries to, you know, be a little more cautious with the players on their back end to maybe bring a little more get-back speed, try and contain a guy like Emmett Tien, who had two really, really good chances at the net in the first period. One on a clean breakaway where he just, the ice just didn't agree with him and he whiffed on the shot. And then one where he made a nice deke move around the defenseman to wind up one-on-one with the goalie, but the goalie just made a fantastic splay out for a save. So we'll see if Needham made any adjustments to try and contain that, and we'll see if Brookline made any adjustments to try and generate some more advantage in the possession game, as they spent a fair amount of time in their own end in that first period. Returning to the net for the two teams, Braden Pavlik for Needham, Craig Haas for Brookline. Both goalies giving a strong effort, both stopping some scary chances from their opponents and keeping this game at full zeros. Here we go, opening face-off of the second period. Out of the scrum comes McDougall, tap over to Tien. Tien, long shot, saved by Pavlik, and he just has to push it to the back where it's taken by Saratella. Pass goes up and pass goes across. Peabody now skating with it. Dumps it off, taken away from Rudder by Tien. Tien moving it through the neutral zone, disturbed and taken away. Rudder sends it off the boards. Surprisingly, no penalty called on that one, as that looked like it might have been a dangerously high hit by McDougall on Rudder, but instead we've got an icing call. Needham end face-off here. The Rockets had a couple of icing calls against them early in the first period as well. As this face-off is controlled by Sitskowski. Pass goes up to Curran and now across to Riley. Riley trying to fight through, taken by O'Donnell. O'Donnell's shot deflected high by Katz. Kept in the attack end by Curran, but knocked right back to him. Now sends it up the line, finds a target. Pass broken up. Attempted for Riley. Sitskowski shot sails way high. Taken by Curran. Sent through the slot. Nobody there. Taken now by Henry Ames. Attempted clear. Gets through to the neutral zone. Sitskowski pushes it back. Jason O'Brien now sends it up the line, where it gets away from O'Donnell deep in the Needham end. O'Donnell now sends it around the boards for Curran. Curran skating with it. Sends it off the back for Sitskowski. Now back around for number 5, Kieran Deneen. Now into the neutral zone where it's deflecting through. And now taken by Ames. Henry Ames skating across the blue line, gets tangled up with the official, and it's taken back. This is Riley skating with it for the Rockets. Riley, attempted pass, deflected but collected by Curran. Curran skating, looking around, backhand pass, goes off the skate of Redding and taken by Gurdon. Gurdon trying to weave through, hard collision, but it's taken by Erdman. Erdman tried to wave around, but it's broken up by Sitskowski. Passes up, this is Kenny approaching, shots, and it's scored. Jimmy Kenny sending it to the high far corner on that shot. Honestly, it doesn't get much better place than that. All started with a very nice defensive play and a nice pass follow-up by Jake Sitskowski. And the alternate captain found the captain, Jimmy Kenny, surprisingly playing up on offense despite being a defenseman. And he just had a good opening to the net. And even though he didn't have the best angle, he fired a doozy of a shot, perfectly placed, and Needham is on the board first. Kenny with the goal, assisted by Sitskowski. Brookline trying to come back on the attack, and they answer! Emmett Teahan! Steve McDougall got leveled on the play, but he still got the pass off to his longtime line mate, Emmett Teahan. And the seniors have combined for Brookline's first goal of their home finale. Boy, I barely got done announcing the first goal before the equalizer is scored. Emmett Teahan assisted by Steve McDougall, and we are now tied up at 1 apiece. Sent around the boards. McDougall lost his footing, and skating out with it is Kenny, who lifts it high into the neutral zone, trying to take advantage of a line change. This is Peabody. Peabody getting pinned to the boards by Pace. And now taken by Pace. Pace's pass goes off a skate, but right back to him. But now it's broken up, taken by Rudder. Rudder against the blue line. Shot is deflected wide and now sent to the corner. Around the back it goes for Peabody. Peabody sends one to the slot. Couldn't get a clean shot off as it was broken up by James Redding. Redding lifts a pass ahead, and it's controlled by McDougall. Pass finds Teahan. Teahan couldn't break the blue line. It's taken away by Saratella. Now Peabody, long shot glove, saved by Haas, and he drops it. Almost a costly turnover there for Brookline as it was almost put in during a confusing exchange where I think Haas had trouble getting it out of his glove to leave for Katz. Now a steal, a shot, a save by Haas. Off the shot from Will O'Donnell. 1-1, the tie score with 11:31 here in the second period, and what an action-intense second period this has been. Face-off controlled by the Rockets, but it's poked away, kept in the Brookline end, but now sent out by Jason O'Brien, lifted by Max Guo. It's parked by the stick of Pavlik. And now sent around the boards, and it's taken by Rudder. No, that was Riley, but an offsides is called, or was it a penalty? Looks like they called offsides against Needham. Face off one by Brookline. Passed across to Gurdon. Sends it up for Henry Ames, but just out of his reach, and that's going to be icing. A good idea, just a bit off on the placement. Face-off, corralled by Brookline, off the boards, taken by Sitskowski. Sitskowski shot, misses wide. Rebound recovered by Rosenberg. Pass goes back and then back up the line, intercepted by Grady Ames. Pass gets away from Henry Ames and is taken by Sitskowski. Now broken up again. Grady Ames has a bit of a lane. Grady Ames approaching, gets the feet taken out from under him, and the net is sent off its pole. Grady Ames got tangled up with number 11's Sam Treacy. And this will be a face-off in the Needham end. No, they're putting this in the neutral zone. So a neutral zone face-off after that play. And it's controlled by Needham. Passed across to O'Malley, lifted up. And John Kola had it for a second, but now broken up, sent to the far boards where it's taken by Gangadaran. Pinned to the boards, Gangadaran comes away with it, lifts it, goes off the stick of Kenny. Kenny chasing after it, sending it around for O'Malley. O'Malley's pass intercepted by Aptekman. Shot is saved by Pavlik. Good forward pressure here by what I believe is Brookline's fourth line. Face-off controlled by Brookline. Quick shot from Owen Lacey, just deflected wide by O'Malley. Almost deflected into the net. Now Needham skating with it. Lost track of the puck, but chasing it down is Kajunski. Kajunski's pass misses the mark, and it's going to be chased down by Redding. Redding skating around the back, sends it off the boards, deflects into the neutral zone. Chasing it down is McDougall. McDougall couldn't weave around Kenny, and the puck is knocked away. And it's taken now by John Kola. John Kola, hard collision with Walpowitz, lost his stick, and now Walpowitz takes the puck. The Brookline bench loving that play as now the puck is given to Tien. Tien, long one up, intercepted. Kenny sends it off the boards to himself, but another hard check by Walpowitz as Redding now lifts it out to the neutral zone. It's going to slide all the way down. No icing as it's taken out the back by O'Malley. O'Malley passes away from the forecheck up for Peabody, and it's deflected into the Needham bench, and this will be a neutral zone faceoff. They will face off at center ice. 9:06 on the clock here in the second period. We're tied at 1 apiece. And good forward pressure by Marcus Pace, and Tien sends it into the Needham end. Chased down by Deneen. Deneen sends it around the boards, taken back by McDougall, sent wide of the net. Ricochets chased down by Sitskowski. Sitskowski, long pass up, finds its target. I believe that is Rudder. Now stolen away for a second, but then knocked back to Needham as it's taken by Peabody. Pass for Saratella, now back to Peabody. Peabody approaching, tries a shot, walled off by Haas at point-blank range. Jason O'Brien's pass deflected but taken by McDougall. Pushed deep into the Needham end as Brookline makes a line change. Pace trying to keep up the forward pressure as it's taken, sent around. Henry Ames prevents the clear. Tien has it in the corner. Tien just holding it. Lifts a high pass, knocked down, shot by Gurdon, saved by Pavlik. A nifty play from Brookline. Almost going for an alley-oop there as Tien lifted it high. Gurdon gloved it down and went for a quick shot, but could not get it past Pavlik. Face-off controlled by Brookline. Redding winds and fires, and it's blocked. Riley, touch pass, finds O'Donnell. O'Donnell on the breakaway. Shot is in! Will O'Donnell puts Needham back up 2-1. I mean, that's a tough play for Brookline. I mean, when your face-off goes back to your big defenseman, James Redding, you want him to wind and fire the cannon. But in that circumstance, it backfired entirely as it blocked off the body and ended up ricocheting all the way past the defenseman, giving O'Donnell a perfect path to the net. 2-1, now the Needham lead. Walpowitz Sent one to the slot, but it's just broken up by Needham. Taken now by O'Donnell. Fresh off scoring the go-ahead goal. O'Donnell's pass broken up both times, once by each Ames brother. Now Redding sends it through the neutral zone. It's taken by Kenny, across to O'Malley, and back to Kenny. Kenny, pass up for Curran, broken up now by Ames. Stolen back by Riley. Riley sends it up the line. Taken now by Redding. Redding turns back around. Pass goes up to Henry Ames. Now another long pass up. Guo pushes it into the Needham end. Guo tries to send a pass back, gets it to Walpowitz, pass across. Redding's got a bit of an opening, long shot, deflects down low, but wide of the net. Recovered, pass back to Walpowitz. Walpowitz sends it around, chased down by Grady Ames. Ames pass intended for Erdman, intercepted. Now fighting his way through is Sean Concannon, but it's finally broken up, stolen by Walpowitz. Pass across to Erdman. Erdman fakes, tries a backhander, blocked by Sitskowski. Pinned up against the boards, and Kenny passes it across to Sitskowski. Sitskowski skating end-to-end, deflected into the Brookline end, where it's taken by Gurdon. Gurdon turns around, now sends it around the boards for Lacey. Lacey, attempted clear, is kept in the Brookline end. Taken back by Gurdon. Gurdon gets around one, sees a bit of a lane, skating up the ice. Gets around another defenseman, chases it down in the corner, tries a pass, broken up, recovered. Gurdon skating around, passes back, finds Katz, long shot, deflected wide. Recovered by Lacey. Lacey tries a pass, blocked. Lacey recovers, tries another pass through the slot, nobody there. And it's taken away by the Rockets. Number 7, Davison, sends it into the Brookline end, where it's taken back by Gurdon. Gurdon now dumps it into the Needham end as Brookline makes a full change. Off the boards, it finds its target. That's Giancola. Giancola dekes around one, trying to get around 3. Stays with the puck somehow. Pass back, finds Kenny. Shot blocked by McDougall. And McDougall trying to move it. He gets it into the neutral zone. It's a race for the puck. Tien gets there first. Tien, awaiting the reinforcements, lost the puck. Battling for it in the corner. And we've got a penalty coming against Needham. Now it's deflected, gets away from pace, and that will trigger the penalty. They're going to call that one for a high hit too close to the boards. And that will be number 11, Sam Treacy, going to the penalty box. So Brookline going on the power play for the second time tonight. And they are in desperate need of their power play unit to produce something. Couldn't get much going last time on the power play. Now here they are trailing by 1. Face-off controlled by Brookline. This is Gurdon at the point. Long shot, deflects wide. Curran tries to clear, but it's kept on the attack by Gurdon. Gurdon skating, fires another shot, deflects wide again. High ricochet off the glass, and that actually went off the netting. And so they're going to stop play. .454 on the clock for the second period, 1:45 on the penalty against Treacy. Face off, Gurdon sends it up, finds Grady Ames, tries to send a pass through, deflects back. Tien, shot blocked by the body of Sitskowski. Tien now passes across to Gurdon as Brookline resets in the neutral zone. Pass goes up to McDougall, broken up by Kenny as he gets leveled into the boards. McDougall does by Kenny anyway. Stolen away, O'Donnell, shot saved by Haas. Weird pinball ricochets, and Haas just has to cover it up. Almost some deeply unlucky bounces for Brookline there as Haas made the pad save, but it went right off of Gurdon's skate and right back to Haas. He had to save it a couple times just to prevent what could have been an own goal. Face-off goes off the side of the net. Now sent around the corner. Controlled by Pace. Pass didn't have enough on it, and Curran breaks it up. Being chased after by Redding. He sends a pass into open ice. That's going to be chased down by Pace. Passed across for Max Guo. Guo gains the blue line, tries to tap a leader, but the guy's not there, so Guo chases it down himself, coming around the back. Pass gets away from Tien and back out to the neutral zone again as Tien passes across for Redding. Redding sends it up for Henry Ames. Ames gets pinned to the boards. The attempted clear deflects into open ice where it's taken by O'Malley, and O'Malley launches it down to the Brookline end. Haas has to pass it away. A long pass deflected by Deneen. Henry Ames fighting for it, but now taken by Giancola. Attempted clear, walled off by Redding. Redding, long shot, deflects right in front of the net. Point back, score! Marcus Pace! Brookline ties it up again. James Redding, the senior, after his last long shot was blocked, leading to the breakaway score for Needham. That long shot left the puck perfectly in front of the net for his fellow senior Marcus Pace to put one back in and tie this game up at 2. Marcus Pace assisted by James Redding, and I think Emmett Tien got the secondary, I'm not sure. All squared at 2 apiece as Brookline scores on the power play. Taking it around the back, that is Erdman. Erdman lifts one high, it's deflected down. Tekman takes it, draws a trip, and Brookline's going right back on the power play. And so now this will be another penalty against Kenny. That's going to be a 2-minute minor for tripping. Brookline with a real chance here. Brookline has never led so far this game, but now on the power play in a tie game. They're 1 for 2 on the advantage so far tonight. Face-off controlled by Brookline, sent back to Tien. Tien, long shot, deflected down by Redding, but just wide of the net. Curran's clear, goes all the way up the line, and it's going to be parked by Haas and left for Tien. Tien leaves it for Gurdon. Gurdon, long pass up for McDougall. Pass across, finds Tien. Tien gains the blue line, weaving across, looking for an opening. Now pass across to McDougall, couldn't be collected cleanly, and he has to reset. Now another pass across, this one to Pace. Pace sends it back to the point to Gurdon. Gurdon sends it over to Tien. Tien back to the point. Gurdon, long shot, off the pole! Off the glove, off the pole, and it dumps itself just outside of the net. Does not get much closer than that. So after the stoppage, we'll have a face-off. It's won again by Brookline, controlled by Gurdon at the point. Gurdon sends it to Tien. One-timer is blocked as Curran now lifts it out on the clear. Taken around the back by Gurdon. Gurdon pass up for Pace, gets away from Pace, stolen away by Curran. Curran skating with it, pass up for O'Donnell. O'Donnell lifts it high to the back end. Taken again by Gurdon. Pass off the boards, finds McDougall. McDougall gives it to Gurdon. Gurdon skating through, gains the blue, still approaching. Shot saved by Pavlik, and it's just left out in the open, and it's recovered by Tien. Tien back to the point to McDougall. McDougall pass, finds Pace. Pace now sends it back to Gurdon as they reset at the point. Gurdon over to Pace. Pace coming across, shot deflected right into the lap of Pavlik. .21 seconds left on the penalty. 1:34 on the clock here in the second of what has been a thrilling contest so far. 2-2 the score. Face-off won by Needham this time. Deneen sends it around, but it's deflected and taken by Ames, fresh off the switch. Ames leaves one for Pace. Pace approaches, shot, sails high, and that's going to go around the board. Saved in the attack end by Ames, but it's poked back out to the neutral zone, and they have to reset. Penalty is over. We're back at even strength. Reading, shot is blocked. Recovered by Pace. Pace in the corner, lost it, taken away. Now by Kaczynski. Long pass leading, and that is going to be icing. 1 minute even left in the period as we get ready for the Needham end face-off. Brookline unable to make it back-to-back power play goals as the Needham penalty kill prevails. And it's pushed forward, but pushed wide. Now it's sent off the back. They're still scrumming for it. Into open ice, it's taken by Rudder. Rudder lifts it up, deflected by Saratella, and it's going to be chased down by Gurdon. Gurdon sends it off the boards, deflected back to the Brookline end, and then sent back out to the neutral zone by Gurdon. And now left for Grady Ames. Ames turning around, pass through, finds his brother in the corner, Henry Ames. Pass across, intercepted. Saratella leaves it for Sitzkowski. Sitzkowski launches it into the Brookline end. Sitzkowski trying to keep with it. Now it's Peabody, pinned to the boards by Gurdon. And Ames gets it up to the older Ames. But it's knocked right back. Now Peabody trying to stay with it along the boards. He's getting swarmed by Warriors here. And again, Grady Ames sends it up to Henry. And that's just going to end the period. After no score in the first period, we got a flurry of scores there in the second. 2 goals from both sides. For Needham, Jimmy Kenny, assisted by Jake Sitzkowski, and then Will O'Donnell, unassisted, I believe. For Brookline, Emmett Tien, assisted by Steve McDougall, and Marcus Pace on the power play, assisted by James Redding. For Emmett Tien, that is his 15th goal of the season. He leads the team. For McDougall, his 13th assist, also leads the team. For Pace, that makes 8 goals this season. And for Redding, that is his 8th assist. We are now at the second intermission. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Walter Brown Arena. I'll be taking another break off the mic, but I'll be back with the third and final period of regulation. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Giving you coverage of tonight's varsity high school boys hockey contest between the Brookline Warriors and the Needham Rockets. And what a contest it has been so far. No goals in the first period. 2 goals each from both teams in the second. Needham got the scoring started with a goal by captain Jimmy Kenny, assisted by alternate captain Jake Sitzkowski. Brookline answered just seconds later with a goal by their own captain Emmett Tian, assisted by his fellow captain Stephen McDougall to tie things up at 1. Needham got a breakaway score from Will O'Donnell to make it 2-1, and then Brookline answered on the power play, a goal by senior alternate captain Marcus Pace, assisted by fellow senior James Redding. So the seniors getting it done on the offensive side for Brookline in what will be their final game as Warriors here at Walter Brown Arena. They have another road game left on the schedule, if I recall correctly, but this will be their final home game. As indeed, Brookline has one more game left in the season after this one. Next Wednesday, it's on the road at Malden Catholic. So this being the last home game, it is also my last game covering this team for this season. But Brookline putting on a show for us here in their home finale. And this game could go either way. What's really interesting is after the first period, I talked about how Needham felt like they had the majority of the pressure, like they won the possession game. But then Brookline was able to get a couple of breakaway chances off of some, defensive breakdowns or some breakdowns in the transition game by Needham. And then in the second period, it was almost the reverse. Brookline was able to generate some real sustained pressure offensively, and that helped them find the back of the net twice, whereas Needham was able to find the defensive breakdowns and get a couple of breakaway scores. So both teams really took what worked for their opponent in the first period and made it work for them in the second period. And as a result, here we are, tied at 2 apiece as we head into the third and final period of regulation. And as to what to expect in this third period, your guess is as good as mine, folks. This has been a night full of surprises, full of thrills, and of course, full of some great hockey action. And as the Zamboni makes its exit and shipping up to Boston starts to blare on the PA system, the Warriors come out for the third and what could be their final period at Walter Brown for the 2022-23 season. And now out come the Needham Rockets. Currently ranked 29th in the power rankings. They are fighting to secure their spot in the playoffs this season. Brookline 44th in the rankings. A playoff spot seeming well out of their reach at this point, but still plenty to play for the Warriors. Back to the net for Brookline is freshman Craig Haas. For Needham, it is their senior netminder Braden Pavlik. Even with 2 goals scored by each team, there's been some fantastic efforts from both goalies. This could be a much higher scoring game than it already is, if not for some really good saves. Brookline coming out their first unit. McDougall, Tian, and Pace the forward line. Gurdon and Redding the defensive pairing. For Needham, their number one defensive pairing of Kenny and O'Malley, with a forward line of Saratella, Peabody, and Rudder. Here we go, third and final period of regulation. It's pushed all the way down to the Brookline end. Redding gets there first and sends it off the back for Gurdon. Gurdon lifts it forward to Pace. Pace tried to touch it over to McDougall, but it's taken by Peabody. Now knocked over to Saratella, now left for Rudder. Rudder couldn't get past Redding as it's knocked into the corner. Rudder chases it down, sends it back for Kenny. Kenny's shot deflected high and into the netting. And that will stop the action. Face-off is controlled by Brookline, but it's pinned up in the corner. Scrumming for it, coming out with it is Tian. Tian pushes it into the neutral zone. Tian still skating with it. Tian gains the blue line, leaves it for Pace. Pace whiffs on the shot, recovers the puck, comes around the corner, dumps it for Tian. Tian couldn't stay with it, and it's knocked away, but taken back by Pace. Pass ricochets off the skates, taken now by O'Donnell. Redding launches one around the boards. Weird ricochet. It's left for Kenny. Kenny skating out to the neutral zone, still skating with it, still going. Pass for Curran, pass back off the skates, recovered, shot is in! I believe that was scored by Sean Riley. I'm gonna wait to make sure I saw the jersey number correctly, and indeed, alternate captain Sean Riley puts Needham back up by one early here in the third. Assisted by Curran and Kenny. Face-off is ultimately controlled by Saratella. Saratella couldn't stay with the puck, taken back, goes into the neutral zone, and Saratella has it again. Saratella approaching, poke check by Katz, breaks up that offensive approach into the neutral zone, taken by Sitskowski. Pass across to Rudder, now up to Saratella, now taken by Peabody, into the corner, pinned up against the boards by Katz. Scrumming for the puck, several players fighting for it in the corner. And it's ultimately won by Needham. Saratella couldn't get a shot off. He got tangled up with Guo. Kept on the attack by Deneen. Long shot turned aside by Haas. Recovered by Saratella. Saratella checked into the boards by Thomas O'Brien. Grady Ames trying to push it up the ice. Henry Ames gets it forward. Guo gets it out to the neutral zone, and now fighting for it. It's taken back by Deneen. Gains the blue line. Pass misses Saratella. Connor Erdman recovers it, lifts it out to the neutral zone. Taken back by the Rockets. Sitskowski approaches. Lost the puck, knocked away by Katz. Sent off the boards. Taken by Erdman. Erdman lost it up against the boards to Sitskowski. Now several players scrumming for it. It's knocked loose, and Thomas O'Brien lifts it into the seats, and that will result in a stoppage. 12:20 left on the clock here in the third. Now Brookline back on their heels for the third time. Off the go-ahead score from Sean Riley, assisted by Jack Curran and Jimmy Kenny. Face-off, sent back, couple ricochets. Still more ricochets, now controlled by Gurdon. Pass misses Tian, and I think this might go for icing. No, it won't. Taken by Kenny. Kenny sends it forward. Another pass broken up and taken by Gurdon, but gets away from Redding. Now taking it is number 20, Sewell. Sewell's pass broken up by Tian, and a hard leveling. That's going to result in a penalty against Brookline as that shot is ricocheted. How did they not knock that one in? That went everywhere but in the net, and now the delayed penalty is called against Brookline. Brookline lucky that a shot didn't find the back of the net. during that delay as they had a great chance at it. Noah Gurdon going to go to the box. There was a hard collision that took the feet out from under one of the Rockets, and Gurdon will be going to the box for 2 minutes. First power play opportunity for the Rockets. Sitskowski knocked away from him. Attempted clear by Redding is caught by Kenny. Passed over to an open O'Donnell. Now given back to Kenny at the point. Now back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell shot saved by Haas. Chased down in the corner. This is Riley approaching. Recovers, passes back to Sitskowski. Cross to O'Donnell. O'Donnell finds an opening, approaches, and saved by Haas. A minute 25 still left on the penalty, 11:09 on the game clock. Face off, ultimately controlled by Riley. Riley trying to fend off the defense. He does, and pass it back to Sitskowski. Now it goes back to Riley, who leaves it back for Sitskowski. Skating into the corner, turning around. Looking for a pass, tries to send one through. It's broken up, and it's going to just barely be kept on the attack end by O'Donnell. Pass down for Curran, back to O'Donnell. Hand off to Kenny, now down to Curran, back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell from the point, sends it to the slot. It's just barely broken up. Recovered, Sitskowski, shot sails high. Rebound chased down by Kenny. Kenny skating around, sends it off the boards to himself. Skates around the back, looking, shot, sails high, and it's going to ricochet all the way out to the neutral zone where it's taken by Sitskowski. Sitskowski skating with it, gets a pass away to Kenny. Kenny gains the blue. Pass deflected but taken by O'Donnell. O'Donnell skating in the corner, coming around the back, trying to send one through. Shot misses wide. Curran had an opportunity from the slot there, but it was redirected. Now Tien skating with it. Pass gets away from McDougall. It's taken instead by Sitskowski. Pass for Kenny, and we are back at even strength as Gurdon comes out of the box. The Brookline PK successful, as this will go for icing against Needham. Looking a little shaken up in the tunnel is Emmett Tien. Hopefully he is okay. Hopefully it's just maybe cramps or something. Face off, tangled up. Guo skating with it. Escapes the hard check, but does not keep the puck. It is taken by Saratella. Saratella, hard collision along the boards, and that's going to be, I believe, an offsides call against Needham. Face off. Scrummed for by several players. Jason O'Brien comes out with it. Long pass up to Max Guo. Guo's hit deflects. Down to the near boards. Another deflection. Still more deflections. Now that long lift stopped, kicked away by Jason O'Brien. That prevented a breakaway there. Good defensive play by the senior. Another long pass up. This one gets to John Cola. John Cola couldn't fend off Jason O'Brien. The senior making the most of his last game at Walter Brown as he fends off a couple of offensive approaches. Henry Ames brings it up but ran out of room. Deneen sends it around. Finds its way back up to John Cola. Now he's stopped by James Redding. His pass gets across to Connor Erdman, who dumps it into the Brookline end so they can make a forward line change. Deneen's pass gets up to John Cola, now stolen away by Grady Ames, sent off the boards. Now O'Malley sends it around. It's going to be taken by Walpowitz. Pass for Lacey. Lacey sends it through the slot. Nobody there. Taken off the ricochet by Grady Ames. Pass back for James Redding. Redding insert deflected wide. Gongadarin chased it down. Pass back to Walpowitz. Long shot is turned aside barely by Pavlik. Ames dumps it into the corner. They get tangled up and Deneen comes away with it. Deneen manages to get it up to Sewell, who gets it up to Curran. Curran skating, lost it, and it ricochets back to Walpowitz. Pass up to the neutral zone to Gongadarin, who pushes it into the Needham end. Around the back, it is taken by Alex Duan. Pass gets knocked into the neutral zone where it's taken by Gurdon. Gurdon skating around, lifts it into the Needham end. Emmett Tien back out on the ice. Nice to see he's okay. Sitskowski tangled up. Oh, a chance. Pace couldn't put it in at point blank either time. Taken out by McDougall. Pass back broken up by Riley. Now sent back around the back. Ricochets off the official. McDougall fighting for the puck, keeping with the puck. Sends it back around. Broken up by Needham. Scrumming for the puck, and the Rockets come out with it. Pass finds Curran. Curran's pass broken up by the stick of Tien. Gurdon gets there first, sends it around the back for Katz. Katz sends a pass through, gets through. Tien touches it for McDougall, tries to touch it back, but it's broken up. Riley had it for a second, now off the ricochets. Tien passes up for Pace. Pace gains the blue line, and laying down in front of him to take it away was Duan. Now out to the neutral zone, taken by Katz. Katz pass across, finds Gurdon. Gurdon now lifts it up. Broken up by Needham. Sent back to the Brookline end, taken by Katz. Katz skating long, pass, finds Pace. Pace off to the races, 2-on-1. Pace, pass for McDougall. McDougall couldn't put it in! Whiffed on the deke there. It's taken back by Tien. Tien gets leveled by Riley, but it's taken back by Pace. Pace coming around the back. Turning back around, sends a pass through the slot, finds Tien. Tien whiffed on the shot! And this long clear will be an icing. A couple of big whiffs by Brookline, and Tien very visibly frustrated after that one. I don't think he expected the pass to get through, and when he saw it, his surprise kind of took off his balance. He's had a couple that he wants back. And Brookline still trails 3-2, and a timeout is going to be called with 5 minutes and 54 seconds left here in the third period. Brookline getting some good chances, applying a lot of pressure, but every time just something goes wrong at the last second. This can be the frustration of being a hockey fan, coach, player, what have you, that as much as every game is a game of inches, hockey is the one that I think more than any other sport leaves you thinking that was so close, so tantalizingly close, and it does it more than any other sport in my mind. Needham end face-off off the icing. It's pushed to the corner. Now sent around. Taken by Rudder. Rudder skating, breaks the blue line. Gets around one defender but lost the puck. Taken back by Brookline, sent out to the neutral zone where it's taken by number 19, Elliott Sprott. Off the boards, Peabody moves it forward, but it's taken back by Gurdon. Gurdon skating with it, pass up. Finds Henry Ames, now up to Erdman. Erdman launches it into the Needham end. Around the boards it goes. Sprott chasing after it. Moves it forward. Henry Ames keeps it on the attack. Sends it back to the corner. Taken around the back by number 21, Spencer Clark. Now back to Sprott. Now up to Rudder. Touches it forward. Redding collides with a couple of players as Guo tries to move it forward. Erdman gets it into the Needham end. Taken by Clark. Clark Sends it off the boards. Waiting is Guo. Guo approaches, can't get a shot off, and it's knocked back. Redding launches it back to the Needham end. And now it's taken back by the Rockets. Long pass up to Rudder as Brookline makes a line change. Rudder's shot blocked by Redding. Now sent forward, and Haas turns it aside. Gurdon takes the puck. Skating with it. Weaves around one. Gains the blue line himself. Sends it around the boards. Sprott gets there first. Pass up to Sewell. Now that pass intercepted by Pace. Pace passed through. McDougall couldn't get it, and it's turned aside by Pavlik. Now a clear goes out to the neutral zone. It's taken by Redding. Long pass. Misses. Taken back. And now a clear bounces past Katz, but he chases after it. Turns around. McDougall trying to move it up ice, but it's taken back by the Rockets. Shot sails high off the stick of Kajunsky. Now another shot blocked, recovered by McDougall. McDougall pass up for Pace, gets away from him, taken back by John Cola, but now Pace takes it away. Marcus Pace racing up ice. He leaves it for TN. TN shot, score! Emmett TN. He wanted so many chances back after so much bad luck, and that one, he buried it. We're all tied up again. Emmett Tien with his 16th goal of the season, his second goal of the night. Marcus Pace, who had the power play goal earlier, gets the assist on that play. Again, the seniors bringing every ounce they have here in their final home game. All tied up at 3 apiece, just under 4 minutes left. Curran sends a pass back, finds O'Donnell, and O'Donnell scores! Needham takes the air right back out of the building as Will O'Donnell answers Tien's second goal with his second goal of the day. 4-3, the action never ends here at Walter Brown. 3:33 still left on the clock. Off the face-off, Pace moves it into the Needham end, but it's pushed right back out. Through the neutral zone, it is left for McDougall. McDougall gains the blue line, sends a pass, ricochets to Pace. Pace, shot saved by Pavlik. You cannot take your eyes off this game for a second. Sitskowski moves it up ice. Gurdon keeps it back on the attack. Out of the back, it's taken by McDougall. McDougall turns around, gets tangled up. Can't get a pass off. Redirected. That one is in! Marcus Pace! What is this game? I'm losing my mind, folks! This sport is just that crazy. 3 goals scored in a matter of a minute. Marcus Pace with his second goal of the day as he just reached out in the middle of that scrum and poked it and snuck it in between the legs of Pavlik. We're tied at 4. Redding lifts it high, downed by Kenny. Now taken by Saratella. Saratella gains the blue line. Saratella weaving around, couldn't get around the defenders. It's taken by Pace. Pace tries to lift it, ricochets. Taken back by Saratella. Saratella around to the corner, coming around the back. Sent back to Kenny. Kenny pass across. O'Malley, long shot, turned wide. Chased down by Peabody. Pinned to the boards by Redding. McDougall sends it around. Kenny keeps it on the attack, but it's wrestled away by Tien. Tien pass deflected up to Pace. Pace racing with it. Pace tries to leave it for McDougall. He does. McDougall redirects it. Oh, it's just kept out. The horn sounded, but it wasn't in. Oh my gosh, the horn sounded prematurely. That did not break the red line. It looked like it was going to. It was deflected up in the air, but several defensemen came crashing down into the crease to keep that one just from getting past the red line. This game has everything. If I get through this game without losing my mind, it will be a miracle. Face-off won by Brookline. Quick shot from Henry Ames. Glove saved by Pavlik. .204 left in regulation. Face-off sent to the far side boards. Attempted clear, walled off by Walpowitz. Walpowitz shot redirected wide. Moved up the line. It gets out to the neutral zone. Tangled up along the boards. It's sent to the Brookline end. Around the back. Walpowitz fighting for it against Riley. Can't get it past O'Donnell. It's knocked back out to the near side boards. They're scrumming for it. Out of it comes Curran. Pass back to Deneen. Across to Sitzkowski. Shot knocked down, and the shot goes high! It didn't go in! They're still keeping with it. They're trying to knock it out. Turnaround shot by Riley. Blocked! Henry Ames trying to send it, but it's pinned to the boards now. Knocked back out. Kept on the attack by Sitzkowski. Pass across to Deneen. Deneen whiffs on the shot. It's kicked up by Grady Ames. Now taken by Max Guo. Max Guo approaching all by himself as they're making a line change. It's taken away by Sitzkowski. And the net was knocked off its post. I didn't even see that. 58.9 seconds left in regulation. Timeout now called by Brookline with 58.9 seconds left here in the third period. We're all tied up at 4 apiece. I mean, what can I even say about this game that it doesn't just say for itself, honestly? 4 goals for both sides. For Brookline, 2 each from Emmett Tien and Marcus Pace. For Needham, 2 from Will O'Donnell, 1 from Jimmy Kenny, and 1 from Sean Riley. I don't know what to say, folks. This game is driving me bonkers. Apologies there, just had to blow my nose for a second. .9 seconds on the clock here in the third. All tied at 4. Face off in the Needham end. Face off, sent to the near side boards. Tien moves it along, taken by Pace, shot saved by Pavlik. Kenny recovers it, sends it off the boards for O'Donnell. O'Donnell manages to fend off Tien, move it up the neutral zone. Redding walls him off, and it's sent out of play, and I think they're going to call that a Brookline end face-off. As I think that one went out of play, I'm not sure. Must have. So now with 43.4 seconds, it's now in Brookline's end. Face off. Sent to the near side boards again. Chased down around the back by Curran. Curran coming around, turning around, shot blocked wide. Gurdon recovers it around the back. Gurdon skating with it. Sends it up ice to Pace. Pace turns around, trying to move it up. Gets a backhander up to Gurdon. Gurdon lifts it across the blue line. Chased down by O'Donnell. O'Donnell coming around the back. His long pass intercepted by Pace. Pace touches it for Tien. Tien sends it back to the corner. Gets away from Pace. Kenny chases it down. Tries a pass. Gets it across to Sitzkowski. Sitskowski moves it up to Curran, across, weird ricochet, taken back by Curran. Curran skating with it across the blue line, leaves it for Sitskowski, long shot, saved by Haas, and that ends regulation. Are you enjoying this game, folks? Good, because you're getting more of it. At the end of 3 periods, we have not yet decided a winner. The score is Brookline 4, Needham 4. And folks, for the first time this winter, I am saying that one magic word, overtime. From Donnell O'Neill in the live chat, so mad that wasn't a goal. I just had to leave with 1:30 left on the clock. I'm sorry you had to leave, but I hope you're able to keep watching as we get ready for the overtime period. Love seeing the good vibes in the live chat. Thank you, Marlene Lyons, Steve Sheridan, Caitlin Wilson, Lauren Hirsch, Ali Sternberg. You guys have all been great keeping the good vibes going on what has been an absolute thriller. And now it is, well, in one sense do or die, but it's also do, die, or tie, because technically ties can happen. If there is no score in this 5-minute overtime period, we will end in a tie, but for this 5-minute overtime period, it is next score wins. And it's 4-on-4. Here we go. Off the faceoff, it's controlled by Needham. Skating up with it is Kenny. Pass across to Riley. Riley weaving around. Gains the blue line. Long shot deflected high. Comes down off the back, and Tien takes it around the back. Tien skating with it. Turning on the Jets. Still skating. Gains the blue line himself. Tien coming around. Couldn't get a shot off. Stretched out stick. Blocked it. Kenny, after I believe him making that nice defensive play, he passes it across to Riley. Riley weaving around, gains the blue, collides with McDougall. Now Tien takes the puck in the corner, passes it out the back to Gurdon. Gurdon starting the approach as Needham's making a change. Gurdon pass up, finds McDougall. McDougall fakes out his defender, trying to keep the puck, gets it across the blue line, racing after it is Pace. Pace, shot, saved, rebound, couldn't get the shot off. Pace comes around, backhander misses wide. Kenny taking it around the back, and Brookline trying to make a quick change. Kenny fakes out Henry Ames. Skates up the ice, turns around, passes across, gets away from Rudder. Saratella takes it into the corner, pinned by McDougall. McDougall gives it back to Gurdon. Gurdon skating up the ice, going end to end. Gurdon gains the blue, shot, saved by Pavlik. It's like you can't breathe. Any shot could be the last shot. Still 3:22 left on the clock here in the overtime period. Face off into the corner. Gets it over to Kajunsky. Kajunsky pinned to the boards by Guo, but he stays with the puck. Pass over to Sitskowski, tries a pass intercepted by Henry Ames, tries to move it back. It gets away. It's taken now by Concannon. Sean Concannon walled off. Puck's chased down by Henry Ames, and he keeps with it, kicks it over to Dylan Katz. Katz taking it around, fending off the forward pressure from Concannon, taps it for Redding. Redding moves it up the ice, knocked back and forth. Now Redding skating with it. James Redding gains the blue line. Long shot turned aside by Pavlik. Pass up to Concannon, now left for Kajunsky. Kajunsky gains the blue line, shot saved by Haas. Off the ricochet, Kajunsky sends it around the back. Gurdon's going to take it. Gurdon trying to fend off the forward pressure, sends it off the boards into the Needham end. Kenny takes it, trying to fend off the forward pressure. He passes it across to Curran. Curran back to Kenny. Kenny skating with it, passes away to Curran. Curran gains the blue line, fakes, coming around the back, pass back to Kenny. Kenny launches it to the corner. O'Donnell, pass taken away by McDougall, sent around the back. It's tapped back. Gurdon trying to get it out of there. They're both trying to get it out of there. It's all tangled up. And now Riley comes out with it. Riley coming out the back, sends a pass back to O'Donnell. Shot turned aside by the body of Marcus Pace. Recovered by Kenny, sends a pass through, wide open shot, saved by Haas. Pace leaves it now for Gurdon. Gurdon, long pass is going to be too far, and that's icing. A minute 19 left to potentially decide a winner here. Face off back to Sitskowski. Sitskowski passes up the line to Peabody. Back to the point to Sitskowski. Long shot is in. Jake Sitskowski with the game winner for the Rockets. And Needham wins it in overtime. A tough note to end the season on for Brookline. But for Needham, a hard-fought victory as they continue to push for the playoffs. The final score in overtime, the Needham Rockets 5, the Brookline Warriors 4. A tough way to end, but I'll tell you what, you can always count on these Warriors to give you a thriller at the end. What an amazing game. I mean, again, what else can I say that you didn't see in this game itself? I mean, even if it ends in a loss, I still think what a great way. You know, outside of a win, there's not much of a better way that Brookline could have ended this game. And, I mean, what else is there to say? Brookline falls to 6-14. They'll have one more game on the road next weekend, next Wednesday against Malden Catholic. But for my streams of this team, that is going to be the end of it. The last home game here at Walter Brown for the 2022-23 season for the Brookline High varsity boys hockey team. Hats off to all of them for all of the thrilling contests we got to see from these guys, for all the fantastic efforts. And I'm going to give one last set of shout-outs to the senior class of 2023. First off, to senior defenseman Jason O'Brien. He finished the season statistically with just one assist, but you saw the kind of effort he could give defensively in this game. He made a couple of really nice stops to prevent some potential breakaways for Needham. So he played a significant role in seeing this game go to overtime. You know, may have been, you know, a bottom four defenseman, may not have gotten the kind of minutes other players have got, but, you know, his presence was felt. His contributions were felt, no question. Number 22, Matthew Murphy, a third-line winger. Didn't have any offensive points for the year, but he still brought the effort, brought the senior level experience to a very young group of bottom six forwards. And no doubt he will be missed as well. Number 27, James Redding, who registered, I believe, his 8th assist today. So he finishes with 2 goals and 8 assists on the year. He had to step up in a big way after Brookline graduated both of their first-line defensemen from last year in Jacob Gurdon and Rohan Gervais. And Redding stepped up in a huge way. A great stay-at-home defenseman, and also, as we saw, capable of launching some powerful shots of his own. Shout out to James Redding. And now to those 3 first-line forwards. First, alternate captain Marcus Pace, who had 2 goals today. I don't think he had any assists. Or no, he had 1 assist. 2 goals and 1 assist today for Marcus Pace. He finishes with 9 goals and 6 assists. Like Redding, Pace had to step up in a big way to fill a big void left by a graduating senior, as Caleb Welton manned that left wing spot alongside McDougall and Tien last year, and he was a big presence. I think Pace really came into his own. I mean, Brookline was experimenting a lot with their forward lines after the graduation of Weldon, and Pace really established himself late in the year as that first-line left winger, and he proved why you put him as that first-line left winger, especially today. What an amazing performance from Pace today. 2 goals and 1 assist, like I said. Finishes with 9 and 6 on the year. What a season. What a career for Marcus Pace. And then for the 2 co-captains, or 2 of Brookline's 3 captains, the 2 senior captains, Stephen McDougall and Emmett Tien. These are 2 guys that I saw playing as freshmen back when I was still doing audio-only broadcasts. I think Marcus Pace I saw as well. You know, these are 3 guys that I was covering back when I didn't know how to pronounce their names. And so this is a very, special shout out for me, because I remember calling their names all the way back in the winter of 2019 to 2020, back before we knew what COVID-19 was. I, was calling these kids names, and now to know that this is the last time I'm going to be calling them out, that's an emotional time for me as a broadcaster. And really, again, for these guys, enough cannot be said. I believe McDougall finished with 2 assists today. So that's 5 goals and a team-leading 14 assists for the first-line center. Another great year as the first-line center for Steve McDougall. I've said it before, fantastic distributor, does a great job advancing the puck. And, just gritting and grinding like he does throughout this hockey career. What a career for Stephen McDougall. And then for Emmett Tien, who had 2 goals, maybe 1 assist, I'm not sure, but at the very least finishes with 16 goals. After last year when he had 14 goals and 16 assists, be honest, folks, with how much talent they graduated from last year, at times I wasn't sure if Tien was going to be able to match the scoring totals that he had last year. He had more goals this year than he had last year. And those of you who watch my streams, you know just how good he was last year. But Tien, an amazing competitor, very talented, lots of great awareness, great stick skills, and a fantastic wrister, as we saw in that first goal he scored today. Again, just a fantastic, storied career for Emmett Tien, a talented young man on the ice. And we wish all of these seniors all the very best as we move on to the next steps of their life journeys. Some last kind comments in the live chat from Megan Kennedy Justice. Thank you, Jesse, for all of the commentary and narration. It was great to be able to watch from home when I couldn't be at the rink. And from Caitlin Wilson, I completely agree. Thank you, Jesse. And really, thank you all. Thank you to the Brookline High boys hockey team. Thank you to the fans, to the friends of BHS Hockey, the booster club that has allowed me to cover so many hockey games this winter. You know, thank you to the coaches and to the players for another fantastic season of Brookline High hockey. I say this every year, and I always mean it. It is a privilege to be able to do this and to be able to live my dream and be a professional sports broadcaster. Even if some people want to say it's just high school or it's just freelance work, I'm getting to come out to games and call them and go nuts like I did tonight, and that's my job. I'm living a dream, and it's because of you guys that I get to live this dream. So thank you all very much. Thank you for another great season, and I hope that you all hear my voice again next winter for another great season. But for this season, this will be my last sign-off. Final score in overtime, Needham 5, Brookline 4. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching throughout this winter, and have a great rest of your night.